What's going on, guys? It's Saturday, and I just want to share a little bit just about a feeling that I've been experiencing, that I've experienced in the past, and that, everyone's going to have tough weeks. Everyone's going to have times where they feel like they let themselves down when they came up short. But my solution to that and my resolution to that feeling is that even the days that you feel like you let yourself down, the days where you feel like you didn't do enough, where you're not good enough, and those kinds of feelings that anyone with high standards and high expectations for themselves may embody those feelings, because you want to be the greatest and you want to do really big things, but sometimes you just don't hold yourself to that standard. Sometimes you fall short. Sometimes you cheat. Sometimes you cut corners. Sometimes you just aren't as disciplined as you need to be. And so that feeling kind of can come up in ways where you start to maybe self-sabotage and you start to do less and less, and you start to feel like you're letting yourself down. But that feeling is coming from the fact that you are. And the fact that you are is coming from the fact that you feel like some of the things you do may be pointless, or some of the things you do may not really push you towards the success that you desire. And so my resolution to that feeling is to realize that sometimes when you're in a momentum, or when you're in a groove and you're working towards the things that you want to achieve, you have to realize that your value isn't based upon the results that you get, but it's based upon the effort that you give. And so even though at the end of the week you may feel like you accomplished nothing because you didn't get a trophy, or you didn't win the game you were trying to win, or something like that, you may feel like you accomplished nothing, and it may lead you to feel like those efforts were pointless. But the results isn't the actual things happening from it. The results is the growth that you reap in your personality, and the growth that you become, like that you embody in yourself and in your life, after doing hard things continuously and challenging yourself continuously and being disciplined, being smart, being hungry. And so the feeling of letting yourself down is something that I personally never want to feel again. And I know that in life there's tough days and there's times where I won't be able to help it. I will feel disappointed in myself. But that feeling is something that I never want to feel again. And that's something that I control, is whether I do things that make me feel that way, or I do things that don't make me feel that way. And self-sabotage is a weakness that I'm sure many, many high performers have. And it's something that really creeps up on you secretly, and it's very hard to be self-aware of it and to be in full awareness of the fact that the things that you're doing may be for a deeper meaning that you may not have identified yet. And so little things where it's like, oh, you're justifying cheat meals where it's like you've already had your cheat meal, or you're justifying not working out when you already plan to work out, and you schedule that into your day. So it's not like you don't have time, but you're giving yourself little justifications for things like that. And those small little gaps in your mindset and the small gaps in your discipline, often, or at least in my experience, have been signs of self-sabotage. And those things are things that I'm working on, by way of realizing that regardless of if I get the on paper results, that I'm still worth all of my goals and I'm still worthy to achieve those things. And those on paper results are nothing but a byproduct of the actual results. And like I mentioned earlier, the results being the growth that I underwent while going through different trialing periods of my life. And so consistency is obviously key in these kinds of scenarios, even when it's hard and even when you're holding yourself back from being consistent. Also, motivation is another very, very challenging thing to keep up in these kinds of times, because when it's like you feel like everything is not actually going wrong, but you feel like you're not hitting those quotas, you're not reaching those minor milestones. So it's like, why would I continue? Why would I keep going on? But you also have to step back and be patient, be mature, and realize that life is more than one day. Life is more than 1 week, and life is more than a year. Life is hundreds of days and millions of seconds, and I'm not sure the exact timing, but life is so long, and you have to step back and realize that you are not comprised of the shortcomings that you had in one day. You are comprised of every single day that you've lived up until this exact second here. And so don't brand yourself with a temporary state of where you're at right now. And don't brand yourself as that shortcoming just because you did something that you aren't proud of. So don't brand yourself with that. Instead, brand yourself with the confidence, the poise, the maturity, the discipline, the dignity that you've embodied up until this point. Use those weapons to your advantage and keep climbing your mountain. Because if you don't, the mountain's not gonna disappear. If you don't keep climbing it, then it's still gonna be there, and you're gonna be in the same spot you were yesterday, and the day before, and the day before. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Climb your mountain.